Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're picking back off where we left off on Words That I Know, which is episode 3 of Umbrella Academy, season 2. And this episode is called The Swedish Job. So, just taking guesses out there, the Swedish Job. We've met those guys, and we know that they're called the Swedes. So, it's probably about something they've done in the past, because I really doubt they're going to do anything to the main characters this episode. At least, nothing significant. Like, I don't think they're going to kill any of them or something like that. But we'll see. I'm still barely interested in the Swedes. So I'm kind of hoping that this episode, like, we see their backstory and then they just die. It seems mean, but I'm so uninvested in their story at this point in time. So, if they were all to die in this episode, I would not care at all. And I guess, to be fair, that's not entirely true. Like, I don't... Like, because we haven't been introduced to any other major villains or major antagonists this season, besides, time. But with the introduction of their dad and so much going on, like, it just seems like a side quest, and I would rather not go off on the side quest right now. I'm far more interested in what's happening in the main storyline. So, I'm hoping we get back to that, and we pick it up on that at the beginning of this episode. So, without further ado, because I've been talking for a while, let's get into episode 3, The Swedish Job. How can you fly? I feel like it's going to involve Ben holding him up or something. It's really weird. Every time he's been able to do this stuff before, it's always like they've been able to see Ben when he does really powerful stuff. But I guess that's unnecessary. He's definitely got the most out of his time traveling time. Like, he looks like he's basically just been enjoying himself for 4 years. I feel like I don't trust her character at all. She seems so gifted at every single thing Diego needs. She seems like a spy or some sort of top secret super agent. And she's just way too convenient. And her explanations for why she is super convenient are not satisfying. This guy really likes that milkman uniform. Like, I assumed he was just doing it to be a spy in that opening episode, but he is not gotten out of that uniform, despite the blood on his shoulder. The main reason why I don't like the Swedes is because, unlike Hazel and Cha-Cha, where we knew things about them, and they had dimensions and personality, like we could tell that Hazel wanted to quit, and Cha-Cha just thought, like, we can see that they had a dynamic and everything. These guys are just, like, they don't talk, they're very, very one-dimensional, and all these characters have so much personality, but one-dimensional villains are not bringing anything to me right now. That's like the most amount of control we've ever seen her use on her powers. Like, she just turned them on, threw everyone back, and then turned them off again. See, this goes back to what I keep saying. Oh, that's got hurt. Like, Luther made a huge deal in season 1 about his issues because he's a gorilla now. But it's really not that big of a problem. You just wear oversized shirts and it's completely fine. And your ex non-girlfriend still loves you, so everything's still fine. He's just relaxed.
Why are they trying to kill me? That's what I'm supposed to be.
I mean, impressive ability to knock down a cornfield, but Since we've seen her do so much more, big old pile of meh. Plus it's corn. I still don't like Luther. Like, he was a big old mess for me in season 1, and he's still a big old mess for me in season 2. Like, I'm more interested in Allison's plotline, and I honestly don't care that much about that either. Like, I get it. Racism was a big problem in the 60s, it's a big problem now. I mean, I'm here to watch superheroes kick ass, not politics. Wait, so they haven't found each other in these years? I just assumed that they just didn't know they existed, but apparently they know each other, like, or like they met each other and they weren't interested in finding each other, but they just haven't found each other, and that seems so unlikely. You know what's the least believable thing about Allison's character? The fact that she seems really happy in domestic bliss with her husband. But is she not going to mention the fact that she has a daughter? But it's obviously going to be a younger version of the lady from the Time Bureau. Yeah, that wasn't surprising. Okay, now I'm surprised. I assumed that meant this was like a past version of her, but is this a future version of her? And more importantly, is one of these fish her boss? Is that Ben? Call it. I mean, there was no one else it could have been. He has so many questions. I love it. I love the basic season 1 summary. Oh, I just tell her, guys. It's not helping to not tell her. Like, just let her know gently. There's a good way to do this, but you should definitely let her know it's her. Because there's no diagnosis for autism yet, so no one knows how to deal with this condition. Is that what's going on? Ugh, human bites, terrible. In case you're watching this, PSA, human bites can be fatal because human mouths are actually fucking disgusting and highly prone to giving you infections. In fact, our mouths have the ability to deal with bacteria that our bloodstream doesn't. So a certain bacteria can live in our mouths without doing any harm to us, but that same bacteria would enter your bloodstream, which would be fatal. My point here is that, you know, maybe check that out if possible. Ah. Ow. I just still can't get over this girl with a British accent in Dallas, Texas in the 1960s. Part of me really just wants to look up if the actress is British or the character is British. Because I'm wondering if I'm just not supposed to read into the accent at all, and it's just a side effect that the character just has the accent, but I thought that was going to work out differently. I feel like she is the definition to don't stick your dick in crazy. I don't know if he doesn't know what's going on or doesn't care what's going on. I don't see a way for him to not know what's going on. Ooh, he found Allison. He's kind of going to blow up her marriage, because, like, bringing back the ex-boyfriend. This is going to be another situation where I feel like communication issues are very season 1. I'm really hoping that doesn't become the whole thing for season 2 as well. Oh, that's so funny. They're doing their sit-in at the same restaurant that she started the season in.
Yeah.
Oh, is that his ex-boyfriend?
White. Off.
That's like not what eggshell means at all.
But I do have.
Eggshell is a sheet, not a tint. I feel like he's about to get a PTSD flashback. Oh, they're totally went to the cafe with Allison. I feel like if you're going to do something like this, and I don't know anything about organizing protests, but I feel like the smart thing to do would be to call the media first, so that the media would get there in time. Because the alternative would just be you do this, and then the police arrive first, and they commit various hate crimes, and it's horrible and sparks outrage, but it doesn't spark anything because no one actually saw it happen. So you really need the media to be here to filming it, because even if you have the media on your side and the media is filming what's going on here, then it would have a much wider reach if just that. I don't even know how to describe Luther as a character. He is like, I want to say he's one-dimensional, but he's not. He has a multiple one-dimensional facets. If that's a thing. Like, he doesn't like the way he looks, and he's a daddy's boy, and he's in love with Allison. Like, none of his attributes ever seem to change. Like, despite finding out that his dad screwed him, he never changed about caring about his dad. He hasn't changed about assuming he's right on everything. His emotions towards Allison never like no part of him changes, which makes him so gross. And it's assault on a police officer. My God, when they were filming this, they had no idea what's happening in 2020, and that's just. She's totally going to use her power to kill that guy, isn't she? I don't know how she's avoiding it right now. Also, Luther absolutely seems like the weakest one to me, because we were kind of led to believe that he is massively strong, like he can throw people across rooms and everything, but he can be taken out by normal people in fights. Like, that's not much of a superpower if he can just be beaten by average people. We're actually approaching the end of the episode here, and crazily enough, we haven't seen any huge like gunfights or shootouts or any big fights. I mean, I guess you can kind of consider the protest thing to be a big fight, but I don't. Oh, we're gonna find out who she is, because I'm very curious. She's definitely a secret agent or some kind of spy or something, who's being assigned to follow the A around. Aw, puppies. Best part of the episode. Yep, she works for the company of time cops. They're playing this like it's a huge reveal, as if it wasn't the most obvious thing ever. Oh. Okay, I'll admit that I was a little surprised because I didn't expect her to be related to her, but 90% of this wasn't a reveal. I think the biggest twist here is this episode was called The Swedish Job, and I saw the Swedish doing jack all in this episode. Like, we didn't see a backstory for them, we didn't see anything happen with them. All that happened is they chased Anya, and then they got knocked out in a cornfield, and that's the end of anything we saw with them in the entire episode. So, I felt like it was definitely a mislead in terms of episode titles. But, anyways, so that's episode 3 of The Umbrella Academy Season 2. I am catching up in my drinking, but definitely still behind where I want to be. This is still, I'm happy we didn't cover a lot of time on the Swedes, because boy did I not care about them. But still, I feel like the plot's kind of circling the drain. I think they were really counting on me caring a lot more about the civil rights protest. But it's like, I think they're trying to shock you at how horrifying it is. But it's like, I'm not shocked about how horrifying it is because I'm very aware of how horrifying it is on a daily basis. But in general, I'm hoping that it picks up a bit. This episode kind of slacked off. I am very happy though that in this episode we see a lot of these characters coming together. For example, we ended the episode with Vanya and Five really close to Luther. We know that Diego has met Five already. We know that Allison is aware of Luther and has met Klaus. And I think Allison is the only one who knows about Klaus right now. But anyways, the characters are finally coming back together. I'm hoping this season we get a lot of time where the characters are together as opposed to last season. And I really want to see more Powers this season. So we'll see where it goes and pick up in episode 4. But till then, see you guys next time, and I'll catch you later on Drunk Commentary. Bye.